This is Carol Clay and Russell Hill. They were in their 70s. They were camping in Australia, down in the Australian state of Victoria, which is where Melbourne is. They were up in the Alpine area. I guess there's Alpine Hills down there. Anyway, they were camping in early 2020 and they went missing. And their families called the police, reported them missing, and they've been searching for them ever since. And of course, what happened was they were murdered. And the Australian police in late November have arrested a 55-year-old pilot for an Australian budget airline named Jetstar, named Greg Lynn. He was arrested at a campsite in Victoria and charged with the murders of Russell Hill, 74, and Carol Clay, 73. The couple disappeared after they went on a camping trip in the, Wanangata Valley in March of 2020. At the time of the arrest, Lynn was at a campsite some 34 miles from where the Clays were last seen more than 18 months ago. No bodies were found as of the date of this report. This report is from late November. However, the update is, the Australian television networks have all reported that they have found the remains of the couple. I guess they got some information or something in their investigation after the arrest of Lynn, and they have found the remains of the couple. So it's really sad. Apparently after the arrest, Mr. Lynn was stood down from his job at Jetstar, which means basically suspended without pay. Lynn appeared at the Magistrates Court in Sale, Victoria, for a procedural hearing a couple days after he was arrested in late November. Australia's 7 News network reported. The network said that he had appeared by a video link from the police station. His next court date is set for May 2022, and that time he will stay in custody. There is no motive listed for why he killed the couple. I guess it was to rob them or something. He apparently, according to some of the press reports I've seen, he murdered them in one location and then dumped their bodies in another location. So again, whether you're in the United States or in Australia, you need to be security is a top issue, especially if you're camping in an area where there aren't a lot of other people. It doesn't say in these reports exactly the area where the couple were camping, but I presume it's in an area where, far away from where everybody else was. So if you later news here, this is the Daily Mail. They did find that the couple's bodies were actually burned after being killed, and the police have found the human remains. The remains have not been formally identified, but they're still waiting on DNA tests, but they're pretty sure it's them. Personal belongings were found nearby, including jewelry. Police had been searching the area of bushland for days after the charges were leveled against Mr. Gregory Lynn. So, there's Gregory Lynn, and he's been charged. He's a Jetstar pilot for a budget airline in Australia. So, wow. And there is the couple. That is, there they are. That is Russell, and that is Mrs. Clay. Mr. Hill and Mr. Clay. Hill and Carol Clay. So, man. So, be careful out there. Even if you're in Australia. I don't know what the GUN laws are in Australia, but it's not a bad idea to, have something like that with you while you're camping, especially if you're out in a remote area. Picture is from the Victoria Police. That is where the remains of the couple were found. It does look like a very remote area, doesn't it? Dirt road. So yeah. Said the police had been tracking Greg Lynn for quite a while. They had kind of figured out that he was the one responsible for the missing campers and their demise. They seized his Nissan Patrol, I guess that's an SUV, a truck of some sort, after tracking his movements and then flying into the remote bushland by helicopter. Anyway, a trailer was being towed by an off-road vehicle, which was also captured on CCTV the night the The lovers vanished. The secret lover, they called them secret lovers. The secret lovers vanished. So, wow. Police are still hunting for evidence, including a trailer that was allegedly used to transport the remains of Mr. Hill and Mrs. Clay from the campsite to the burial ground. There they are, the murdered couple. Wow, it's really scary. Again, be very careful when you're out camping, whether you be in Australia, Canada, United States, Europe, whatever, especially if you're in a remote area, because there are a lot of very strange people out there. And we've reported on a number of cases here in the United States, just in the past year, where couples, single people, whatever, camping out in the middle of nowhere, have been accosted, harassed, and murdered, sometimes murdered by strangers out in the wild that are looking for who knows what, whatever money they may have on them. It's interesting that they did find jewelry amongst the remains of this couple. I don't know. Anyway, all right, so all our condolences to the families of Russell Hill and Carol Clay. And at least we got some closure in this case and knew what happened to the couple, and the police in Australia have made an arrest. If you've got an interesting nomadic story, something to deal with camping, nomadic living, whatever, crime, or other elements of nomadic living, rising prices, shortages, whatever, something you think would be newsworthy, please email it to camodave@gmx.com. Thank you for watching.